It is Monday, March the 2nd. The calendar's flipped. And oh, you guys all know what that means. It is time for the NFL offseason to kick into high bleeping gear. Free agency is a week out, and we're coming in hot with a huge NFL offseason preview show. So do us all that favor. Kick back, relax, because the weather's getting warmer, and 609 Sports Talk presents to you Unbiased and the NFL offseason preview show, which starts right a freaking now. And welcome in everybody back to another edition of Unbiased, only here on the good old 609 Sports Talk Radio, coming to you guys live tonight from a much cooler Hamilton, New Jersey than what we had over the weekend. But
hey, we got our grass back. All right.
Yeah, well, and we're getting a wintry mix tomorrow, so have fun. But as always, this is the show to come for all your unbiased sports talk that you need. And as always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, Tyler Adams, Mr. Adams. How the heck are we tonight?
Oh, just counting down the days. It's almost like NFL Christmas time. Just waiting until the tampering period and free agency opens up. You start to get some of those early presents with the trades happening.
Oh, it's a glorious time of year. So look, after the Super Bowl ended, we were nice. You know, we took a little breather from the NFL. We took some NBA weeks off. We gave some NBA talk about the West, the East, OKC. I depressed myself about the Sixers. Somehow Embiid has strained his oblique since then. We'll talk about that a whole nother day. But look, do you really expect us to not sit here and get ready for the NFL offseason? Do you expect us to sit here and talk about the NBA until the summer?
Heck no.
The NBA got its little hiatus for us. We gave them a couple weeks. We'll get back into that when the playoffs get closer. We'll give a little playoff preview. And, of course, you know, their free agency period, which is probably the more entertaining sometimes because, like, 12 players sign before midnight, and it's always a freaking conundrum. Because, of course, NBA free agency starts at, like, midnight when everyone's asleep.
Yeah, for the night owls.
Yeah, right. All the night psychopaths. Paul George signs with the Sixers at 3 a.m. But Tyler, the NFL offseason is upon us. This time next week, utter chaos will have happened. Legal tampering starts next Monday, noon Eastern time. Free agents can sign, trades can be agreed upon. Of course, they can't become final until the new league year. Ask the NFL that. They've already had 3 trades in the past 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to kick this show off with a bang. We are going to kick this show off. We got a poll question. The big talk of the offseason right now, Max Crosby and his future with the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders would love to have him back. Some reports come out Crosby has not asked to be traded. Some says he wants out. Given the situation that the Raiders have been in since he's been there, I can't blame him. We've also made the argument that trading Crosby is not just good for Crosby, but it's also good for the Raiders as a whole. We're going to get into that. But the poll question that we put out yesterday, not should, because I think we all agree they probably should. Will the Raiders trade Max Crosby this offseason? Yes or no? This poll question leading up to tonight's episode was neck and neck the entire day yesterday, the entire day today. 52% of the voters said yes, Max Crosby will be traded this offseason, and a whopping 48% said no, he will remain in Vegas. So, Tyler, I'm going to let you start off the show, and I'm going to let you answer the poll question. Will the Raiders trade Max Crosby?
Man, that's tough. Because there's two questions to it. Will they or should they? Two different ways of looking at it. We've seen Max Crosby be very frustrated over his time, more recently so, with the Raiders. I mean, one of the top pass rushers in the league, undoubtedly. Are the Raiders going to continue to waste the prime years of his career, sort of like what you could say Myles Garrett's doing in Cleveland? Now, granted, Garrett brought himself back into that situation knowing full well they were not in a position to compete. But Crosby's, he hasn't officially ever come out and said, I want to be traded off of this team. But he's also shown a lot of different, subtle hints here and there that he's very unsatisfied with the organization. I don't think Crosby, at least for this year, will ask out and demand a trade because they're looking at teetering on the edge of finally putting it together. You know, you got Ashton Genty last year. Basically, Mendoza's a wrap. You're taking him at number one. You have one of the top tight ends in the league now, Brock Bowers. I mean, offensively, you're putting the pieces together. Defensively, yeah, there is some work that needs to be done, but it helps a lot to have a staple player like Max Crosby. Now, there was a long time ago when we heard a former Raiders head coach say it was hard to find a good pass rusher in the league. We won't.
Let's not do this.
But what the Raiders really have to look at is what do they do with possibly acquiring? I don't know. What do you think Crosby would fetch in this market? 2 firsts?
That's what the asking price has started at. They said that, and it doesn't sound like teams are going to be willing to meet that, but
yeah. And what
that's
does
the starting point.
2 first-round picks do for the Raiders? Depending on the team you're trading for, the placement of those picks in terms of the already established player that Max Crosby is. I mean, the one thing you can't deny about Crosby, he gives his all. He doesn't take plays off. He doesn't slack. He's always going 100%. So that's a hard sell if I was the Raiders to want to trade him away, especially when, granted, we are talking about the Raiders here. They're in a position of what should be on the brink of putting all the pieces together and being able to compete more in the AFC. Now, I'm not going crazy, or I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs even. But I'm just looking at getting to a 500 season or slightly above 500 season. I think they could be poised for that.
The way I look at the situation with Max Crosby and the Raiders is Max is, without a doubt, one of the best at his position. Probably top 2 to 3 in his position. I mean, how many pass rushes would you take right now over him?
A handful.
If that.
If that.
So, and yes, I understand they are starting to put it together in terms of long-term pieces. They have the coach, Clint Kubiak. They're they're going to have Fernando Mendoza, even though we like to make the jokes. It's the Raiders. They could still screw it up, yes, but they're going to have Fernando Mendoza. They have Brock Bowers. You have Ashton Genty. Your offensive line is atrocious.
Yeah.
And outside of Max Crosby, your defense is atrocious. So I think what you have to ask yourself, do you hang on to Max Crosby? And even though that he hasn't formally come out and said he wants to be traded, does his timetable really coexist with the Raiders right now? The Raiders are a
Yeah.
young team, up and coming. Crosby is getting older. Do you think he says, I've given it my all here my whole career. I'd like to try to win something before it's all said and done.
Yeah. And the Raiders might view it like that too. They might view it as, he's toward the tail end of his prime years. Do we want to give him a longer contract to remain on the team? Or do we want to get assets while we can to keep building for the future? And I mean, the one thing they have to really look at is how much better does drafting Mendoza make them immediately?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to know. We're not going to see that for the first year. It's going to be a transition. It's rough.
Exactly.
It's a rebuild. I mean, they don't have many long-term answers at wide receiver. There's a lot of unproven commodities there. But you can't throw the ball to Brock Bowers every play. I mean, you could, but
you could.
But I mean, the two key best friends to a young quarterback is a good tight end, which Brock Bowers is definitely that, and a strong running game. We think Ashton Genty is that, but Ashton Genty's not going to prove nothing running behind that makeshift offensive line.
Exactly.
So do they? I mean, I'm sure they're going to dive into the free agent pool there. Tyler Linderbaum's a name that, I mean, it sounds like he's about to set the market in terms of interior offensive linemen.
He probably will.
And Lamar, have fun, because that Ravens O-line is just getting worse and worse by the year.
Yeah.
But the way I look at it, Crosby is up there in age now. I think is Max 30 yet?
I believe he is.
I definitely think he has to be 30 by now. Feels like he's been 30 for 5 years.
He is.
Oh, he's 28. He's
20.
Jesus.
Wow. He's younger than you, Sam.
Thanks, Captain Obvious. But and he's still young-ish. He's not super old, but again, when you're at that point in your career and you've gone through all the losing, all the quote-unquote rebuilds. I mean, how many coaches has he been through in Vegas?
I think they have like a new one every year, so I'd say, 5?
He's got to be at least that. If you're counting interim head coaches for the ones that got fired midseason, yeah, you're probably we may be closer to 7 or 8. But evening, Dustin.
What's going on, Dustin?
Dustin's in his hitting home mode already.
Oh, man. Love to see it.
Speaking of which, guys, just quick program alert this week. Hitting home Thursday morning at 10 a.m. this week. Little program adjustment this week. We'll be back to the normal schedule next week. But this week we are on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. But again, if I'm the Raiders, realistically, do you want to continue to now? Look, you could go out in free agency, you can draft still,
yeah.
But do you still want to go through the same issues defensively that you've been having? As great as Max Crosby is, the rest of that unit is downright awful. The offensive line, outside of Colton Miller, who is not the best tackle in the world, but he's serviceable. And having Jackson Powers Johnson as one of your interior guys helps. But
yeah,
wouldn't you think of adding?
Yeah.
multiple first-round picks and a Max Crosby trade would help you for your long-term vision on both sides of the football?
Yeah, it would, because I mean the Raiders are nowhere close to win now. Max Crosby is a win now caliber player. He's past the point of a rebuild. If we were talking, he's like 23, 24, okay, yeah. He's a prime player for your team. He can go through a rebuild for a couple years. But it's past that point. My final answer to that question would be I think that they should and will trade him.
Yeah, I voted yes to the poll. I said they're going to trade him because I think it's the right move for the team because
Yeah.
they need draft picks. They have a long-term rebuild that they are entering. Yes, I know it's easy to get excited for teams that hit 1-year turnarounds, but this to me is not it.
And it's the Raiders. If they try for a 1-year turnaround, they're just going to be back in the same boat that they've always been in. This is an organization that needs to take their time with this.
Yeah, and I mean, like we said, they've started with the building blocks on the offensive side of the football. They have the tight end, they have the running back. They're going to have the quarterback come April. But defensively, again, I'm going to keep hammering this home. I'm not going to hit it home. That's
You're
a
not going to hit it
Thursday,
home.
but now we're going to hammer this home. Of course, I don't also have a segment on my own show called Beat the Hammer, but that's a whole nother station for a whole nother day. I'm not a dork like that, but the defensive side of the football, which we have seen now over the past, I mean, it's always been important, but if you just go back and look at the last 2 Super Bowl champions, they were 2 of the most dominant defenses we have seen in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Seattle this year, Philly last year. And look how many draft picks are on those defenses and how many young players are on those defenses. You have to build that unit up. And the Raiders don't, I mean, their biggest acquisition for their defense in the past few years has been Christian Wilkins, who they released because he's a freaking locker room head case.
Yep.
So I think it's in the best for all sides. Go give Max to a contender. Let him enjoy the rest of his career, hopefully contending for a Super Bowl. And the Raiders will get a slew of draft picks. Now, will they get 2 first-round picks? That I don't know. Because Max is up there. I mean, he's going to be 29. He's not young. He's not old. But he's right around the time of his career that you would want him, where he's probably got a good, I'd say, at least 3 to 4 more really productive years left.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. Well, like, all right, so you're a GM, right? You're going to talk to the Raiders. They're asking us 2 first-round picks. So I'm not giving you 2 first-round picks. We've been talking about this with the Eagles with AJ Brown. Even for the life of me, we still don't officially know if AJ Brown is the first player in NFL history to be traded without asking for a trade. That's the joke about that. But
hold on, there's been players who have been traded without asking for a trade.
Not as much as him.
Not as high of a caliber as him.
But where would be the middle ground? Because I don't know if you're going to get 2 first-round picks. Not that Max Crosby's not worth 2 first-round picks, but
GMs are stingy these days. They're very stingy these days. I see at the most, they might be able to get a first and maybe a promising young player. Or maybe a first and a third.
I think a first and a third is generous. Or maybe a first, a promising player, and a 4th or 5th, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd probably lean more toward the 5th.
Mm-hmm. Especially if they're getting a first and a player in return.
Anthony, we're going to touch on this in a few minutes, so hang with us with that. We're going to touch on this in a minute because there is a method to this madness.
Oh, there is? I just thought it was pure
trust
madness.
There's methods to this, man. There's levels to these things, okay? But now the other question to this side is we both believe that, they should look into trading him. I think it's best for both sides. I think the Raiders need to get younger. And like I said, the Raiders just outside of Max Crosby, they don't have anything on that side of the football.
They don't. I mean, I'm looking at their roster again from this past year. Devin White ended up there as a starter. I mean, what has Jeremy Chin proven in the league? I couldn't tell you.
Except be the joke of multiple old 609 episodes.
The only promising player would be Isaiah Polamalu. Not Palomalu. He's obviously not one of the best players in the league. I wouldn't call him a great player, but I think he's a very good safety for their team where they don't have to worry about replacing him at that position. They can build other spots to strengthen around him. They definitely need to look at that corner room. That could be instant improvements if they address the cornerbacks.
Hold on a second. Just from some of the names I do recognize on this defense, Eric Stokes, Tristan McCullum, Jeremy Chin, Devin White, like you said. Hold on. Jamal Adams is still in the NFL, and now he's a linebacker.
He is a linebacker, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where have I been for the past 5 years?
I don't know, because I think actually when he was in Seattle, they moved him to linebacker. They forced him to.
What's really also hurt the Raiders is the fact that they took Tyree Wilson, number 7 overall in 2023, and he hasn't amounted to anything.
Oh, man. That's the good old Raiders scouting. It's crazy. You look at that, and then it's like, but then back in 2019, you land Max Crosby in the 4th round. Was that even scouting at that point, or did they just get lucky?
I don't think scouting had anything to do with this, Ty.
Clearly not.
I think this is coming to a very good point of that they need to trade Max Crosby because they need to load up on that defense. And if you trade Max Crosby, you can get a late 1st rounder, 3rd rounder. That could be 2 defensive starters for all we know.
Could be, yeah.
Because everything that we have seen over the past few years is that draft picks are just getting more and more valuable by the day. Teams are going with these approaches now where they are building up almost their entire team through the draft. Which, I mean, every team should be doing that, but not all teams are like that. Some teams don't care about draft picks. Some teams just want to try to build with big, flashy moves. And those are usually the teams picking number 1 overall every year.
Yeah. They're not the teams that are hoisting the trophy at the end of the season.
No, and they're never the ones that are out of the freaking top 10 of the draft every year either.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I still am going to stay to that point where Max Crosby should be traded. He will get them back a haul of draft picks and just get younger on that side of the football. Use some free agent money, beef up the O-line. You can get Tyler Linderbaum, which, God, that scares me if they do, because that could be a really big piece of their O-line. Now, let's put the other side of the question. What are some destinations for Max Crosby?
Now,
this is where it's interesting.
You got to think a team that has the draft capital and a team that wants to win now.
So you're spot on. What's going on, Zolt? You're spot on.
Yeah, cheaper roster. That's how you do it.
And he says here the tricky part is drafting well. So
That's the other
sorry,
part that
Cleveland.
worries me because it's the Raiders at the end of the day. They haven't shown us much. I don't know, maybe that changes. Maybe the drafting gets better now with Brady taking over some more things in the front office. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But as far as it goes for teams, uh, I could see the Bears.
It's my top landing spot for him.
I see them trying to make a move. Which very ironic because the Bears took away Khalil Mack from the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you're not.
Almost deja vu.
Zolt said the Raiders are entertaining. Maybe not as much on the field, but very entertaining during the draft, similar to
Oh
the
man.
Jets. Oh dear. No, I think Chicago makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're talking about a secondary last year that tops in the league in takeaways, but they could not consistently get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
And it showed in that game against the Rams back in the postseason. They could not get to Matthew Stafford. And Max Crosby would help that a lot last time I checked.
It would. I don't know if I see. Do you really see any AFC teams going after him?
New England.
Do you think they would?
Yes.
Let's
Look,
see. They would give away a late first round pick this year. And then if you're talking about a third, which the third could be, I guess, this year, maybe next year.
they also have a plethora of young wide receivers that may entice the Raiders a little bit too.
Booty.
Kyle Williams, Demario Douglas, Tayshaun Booty. There, because I mean, we make the jokes with AJ Brown. The Patriots are not trading Christian Gonzalez, so let's just knock that off.
But the Patriots have to watch with how many wide receivers they depart with because it looks like Diggs isn't set on coming back.
What was that?
It doesn't look like Stephon Diggs is set on coming back to the Patriots.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's got a lot of issues going on himself right now, so.
Mm-hmm.
So does not like the
Oh,
topic of
man.
Bears getting Crosby.
Does that worry you, Zolt? Gonna see
Hey, look,
Jared Goff on his back a lot more.
Zolt, you have the most nimble, mobile quarterback in the division. He'll be just fine.
Oh my. No.
Oh, yeah. See, Zolt, I don't like this topic now. See, you're hitting me back with my own medicine.
Wow. Yeah, that's gonna be how Jerry fixes his defense.
No, but Jerry did say they're going to be very active in fixing that defense. And unfortunately, a name that I'm hearing already, you're really not going to like this.
I'm probably not. Nakobe
First
Dean?
name, yeah, it's that Christian Parker connection. Well, look,
some
how
guys are
much
gonna end up there.
Well, they got a lot. They need safety help. They need linebacker help. They need.
Yeah.
They should not spend $1 on the offense.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Reed Blankenship end up there too.
I wouldn't either because of the Christian Parker connection.
Yep.
I would. They've had both of them as options for Dallas, and I hate to say that, but it is possible. That just officially means that the Eagles-Cowboys rivalry may be somewhat dead, but I don't want to see Nakobe Dean on the Cowboys because I actually like Nakobe.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, just looking through what other teams. I mean, maybe Tampa. I mean, they could use pass rush help. their pass rush has been like non-existent in recent years.
Oh wait, are we back on Crosby?
Yeah, Crosby. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Kobe Dean. I'm like,
No,
wait a
no,
minute.
no,
Whoa,
no,
whoa,
no,
whoa,
no.
whoa, whoa.
Back on Crosby. Yeah, because I'm just like, what? There aren't a whole lot of teams. Like, obviously, he's a great player that can impact almost any team, but there's only a few that are actually good fits.
How about Denver?
Ooh, pair him with Benito.
Because you could start the conversation with Jonathan Cooper and a
Mm.
first round pick. It could be something
Mm.
interesting that I was thinking about earlier. I was like, what about Denver? I mean, I'm sorry. I think there's a very legit shot if Bo Nix is healthy, Denver wins the Super Bowl this year.
I think that's a possibility too.
Because no disrespect to Sam Darnold, let's not act like he played lights out in the Super Bowl. And Denver's defense, in my opinion, is a lot better than New England's at this current state.
Yeah, they are.
With Benito and Surtain, Hufunga, Greenlaw, when he's healthy. Come on now. So could Denver be an option? I don't see why not.
Yeah, why not?
I'm looking through here. I'm trying to think of some other teams here.
Another one. How about the 49ers?
I want to pair him with Bosa.
I mean, all San Fran's done is take away the running mate next to Bosa every year.
Yeah,
And
he was
then if he
drafted
gets
Mike
hurt,
Williams.
that is true.
Whoa. Did you just say San Francisco and if he gets hurt?
Yes.
The three things guaranteed in life are death, taxes, and the Niners' entire roster falling apart by week 8. He will get hurt. I would say Green Bay, but there's just no way they're going to be able to pull off a Parsons and Crosby trick back-to-back years.
Nah. That would be insane, though.
You know, I don't think this team would do it. What about a team like Jacksonville?
Jacksonville? I could see that. Or I could even see the Colts, too. I mean, both teams that haven't really gotten a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
I mean, Jags were the number one run defense in all of football last year. Why not go pair that with an elite pass rusher?
Yeah, I mean, let's see. You'd have Hines Allen. You got Armstead in the middle. What else? You got Trayvon Walker.
Who, as a first overall pick, has not been
Not
dominant.
A first overall pick 3 years ago now. He just finished the season with 3.5 sacks. I don't like to throw this word around. You get angry sometimes, but sounds like a bust.
Anthony's mocking a trade up. He said Raiders get Pickens, a 2026 first rounder. Cowboys get Crosby, 2026 second rounder.
Oh, man. It depends if he wants them that bad. Well, let's see, because it looks like the Cowboys are probably going to tag Pickens. That don't mean they can't trade him still.
Yeah, I mean, from what my understanding is that Dallas is working to hammer out a long-term deal. I mean, they just hammered one out with Javonte Williams last week. Gave him, I think it was $16 million guaranteed over 3 years. There was $24 million overall. Good deal.
Okay.
I mean, Javonte's still only 25 years old, so he fits into the timetable. That offense last year was awesome. The O-line in Dallas is better. It's younger. But, it is kind of hard to recover when, Tyrone Smith leaves and Travis Frederick retires and Zach Martin retires. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to replace Hall of Famers quickly like that.
Yeah. It takes time.
And I'll see this one I like better because this is actually DJ Moore goes to the Raiders with a first rounder for
That's a young enough veteran to fit in with that team and what they're doing. That actually makes a lot of sense.
It does because so here's how I look at this, right? This trade for the Raiders are in need of a number one wide receiver. DJ Moore is still in a good age to be that.
Yeah.
The Bears not only get the pass rusher they need, but they now open up the target share for Adunze, Luther Burden, and Colston Loveland, who all emerged as young playmakers last year.
Yeah, they did.
And look, DJ Moore's been very good for the Bears. I'm not saying he's been awful, but he's been good. But they need to start getting their younger playmakers involved because the best way to afford some guys on one side of the ball, cost efficient on the other.
Yeah. Zoll, I don't think that's realistic because the Rams' pass rush really isn't the problem. They need a secondary that can cover better.
I know, but how the hell would you? I don't care who's in your secondary. How the hell do you get away from that front seven if they had Crosby?
You're getting that ball out in half a second every snap.
Do you have that much time?
You're taking a half step back and throwing. That's it.
Zolt does have a point because we don't know how much longer Stafford's playing.
Yeah, it's the time's counting down.
Yeah, Anthony, and like Montez Sweat to me, I don't think he's ever viewed as a guy who could be the number one pass rusher on a team. But if you got him lined up opposite of Max Crosby, we're talking a whole nother story. And you're putting that. Just think, this again, I said it earlier. This was a secondary that led the NFL in takeaways without a pass rush. What do you think they're going to do with it?
Definitely.
So that's where I was at too. That's why I didn't bring it up too much because I don't think they would trade him in division.
Yeah,
but I mean, the Broncos in terms of what they could offer on the field early would be the best, a lot beneficial because they can give them Jonathan Cooper, because you're going to pair Crosby with Nick Bonito. And now there was a report today that the Eagles are keeping their eye on the situation. However, with the amount of long-term extensions that we're going to have to get out of our freaking defensive players over the next few years, no chance.
Yeah. Not at all. I never once considered it.
Well, unless there's a trade of somebody else involved. Because, again, this is still an Eagles team that only has 2 edge rushers on the roster right now.
Good point.
And you add Max Crosby to that interior line of Davis, Carter, and freaking Ajomo next year with Hunt and Nolan Smith.
Give me a quick trade package. You're sending over AJ. Does that negate needing to send him a first?
No, but it may negate sending over anything else.
You think just a straight up swap?
You're getting a first round pick and a top 7 wide receiver. What more do you want?
I mean, what's tough, and I can understand, is a lot of the like front office guys and head coaches around the league, they're not sold on the asking price that the Eagles have right now for him because, I mean, over the last 2 years, yes, the stats were down. Now, granted, I get last year Saquon went off. It's hard to put up numbers with Saquon running for almost 2,000.
At least he can not acknowledge it at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Anthony's got the GM hat on tonight. Raiders get Chris Godwin, a 2026 first rounder, a 2027 second rounder.
Wow.
Bucks get Crosby and a 2027 fifth.
I
I don't
mentioned the Bucks as a team that could use him, and that's a great package there, Anthony.
because their offense is going into a youth movement too. Because it don't look like Mike Evans is coming back either.
No.
That's going to be really weird next year seeing Mike Evans in a different uniform.
Oh, I know.
But I mean, you got Ibuka, McMillan. That's an interesting one. Well, okay, here, let's go back to Philly and let's Anthony, help us out here. You got the GM cap on. Give us a hypothetical one if a trade for Max Crosby happened to Philadelphia. Give me one more.
No, Anthony. We don't want them
No,
to give up
Anthony,
a first
we would trade them the first. No, they're not getting. We're not getting a first and Crosby for AJ. No, I'm saying we would trade a 23 with AJ for Max Crosby.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what you said. I thought you said
No,
straight up AJ for Crosby.
I ain't gonna do it either.
No. Okay, now that makes a little more sense. We trade him our first with AJ for Crosby.
I'm sorry. If we're basing it off of the last time I saw each of these players on a football field, Max Crosby right now is more valuable than AJ Brown.
Oh yeah, he is 100%.
I don't have to. Here's the thing. I don't care who you're upset with. You can go on podcasts all you want and say, "Oh, I thought Kevin Patullo did a good job." You sat on those sidelines and your character showed me otherwise. When I got to question you on the football field with your effort, Mister, I slow up on every other route that I'm running. I have seen Max Crosby play on 2-win teams and show more effort than that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the report is Philly's keeping an eye on it.
How many years
I don't
does
know.
Crosby have remaining on his deal?
Let's see. Let's go take a look real quick, shall we? Crosby is under contract through the 2029 season.
So he got a new deal recently. Was that before last year started?
He signed a 3-year, $106.5 million extension in March of last year. That includes $91.5 million guaranteed. Yep, we're not taking that.
We can't. If we have any hope of wanting to retain both Davis and Carter, Max Crosby will never see the Eagles.
Yeah, well, and I mean, one young player you could always move in a deal for Crosby if it became a thing in Philly is unfortunately Nolan Smith, because he is not a bust in terms of a first-round pick, but Nolan Smith, all he's proven to me right now is that he is a very good rotational pass rusher in spurts. That 2024 playoff run, spectacular. Last year, did he play? They said his Football Reference page says he played 12 games. Did he?
Did he? He did?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, this team had to trade for Jalen Phillips for a reason.
That is true. I don't want to go against him just yet because I feel like with the time that Nolan Smith did miss, I feel like it affected his rhythm. He was never able to get in a rhythm last year.
I think he's trying to personally destroy Lamar Jackson's life.
Oh my. Wow.
I mean, that's not a bad trade. But I mean, God, can you imagine the Ravens offseason where they trade their only wide receiver for Max Crosby and Tyler Linderbaum probably goes to the Raiders with them?
And Lamar's playing first year under a different head coach. Yeah, I think he requests a trade.
We don't even get to the draft. He's like, yeah, see this? I'm out of here. See y'all later. I'm going back to Louisville. I'm going back to college.
Oh, my. Back to Louisville.
They have NIL money now. I'm good. If NBA players can go back to college, why can't I? All right, so let's put this to a stop right here. We've been on Max Crosby now for 45 minutes. Hypothetical gun to your head. It is March the 9th, 2026. Max Crosby is traded at noon Eastern time this time next week, which it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen that fast. Where is he?
Where is he? Chicago Bears.
All right. I'm going to say Denver. I'm going to stick to my guns, even though it's in division. I'm going to stick to my guns and say Denver. I just like the fit. And Denver has the players, the capital. They have what the Raiders would want. So, yeah, I'm going to stick my guess with the Raiders.
Okay.
Anthony, Dallas needs more than just Max Crosby. So I don't see Dallas being a legit player. They could. But I feel like a lot of that draft capital that they gave up for Quinnen Williams may kind of hamper that.
Yeah.
And Quinnen Williams is a good player, so he's still one of the best interior defensive linemen in football.
Oh yeah.
It's a good starting point.
That was his response to needing to improve the run defense.
Oh, yeah, right. And they still got him and Kenny Clark. So, I mean, that's not a terrible trio of D tackles with Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, Osa Odigizua. Those are three solid. If they get some edge help and then fix up that secondary and that linebacker core, then yeah, they're. All right, Zolt's go in New England. I almost said New England, but there's something about Denver that is. It's very quiet. I always look for the teams that are quiet. I don't look for the teams that are making the most noise because then it makes too much sense. And then all this stuff comes out. And that's like, well, why was that? There's always a quiet team that just pops up. I think Denver's going to be it in this situation.
You know who Dallas will bring in for edge rush help?
Oh, God.
Khalil Mack.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jalen Phillips.
Oh, gosh. Oh, dude. Both.
Well, unfortunately, right now the Eagles' top priority is to bring back Jalen Phillips. The problem is they are in fear that they will be price tagged out. So again, dude, we're still just not. We don't have the edge depth that people think they do.
No, they don't.
And coming off of last year, how much?
It's been a product of their own success.
You know, I would have disagreed with this about a month ago if I didn't see James Pierce get arrested.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, you didn't see he got arrested?
I missed that.
He's perfect throw into the trade. He's a perfect Raider. Just saying.
All right. Well, that's the show, folks.
Oh, please. I've said worse on DA. Ask George and Zolt. I said worse. But let's talk about, Tyler, the other big trade chip that's going to be this offseason, and that's if he gets traded, and that's A.J. Brown. Now, look, we've been holding off talking about this stuff on Birds for the past few weeks because I'm about sick and freaking tired of talking about it, but my God, I guess we have to.
Yeah. The talk of the town since before the bye week of the 2025 season. A.J. Brown. I mean, I don't even. Where do we start with this conversation?
It all started back in 2023.
Oh, man. I mean, I've said it a lot of times now on this show. A.J. Brown, he just has never looked at any point this season that he wanted to be here. Yet, he never came out and said he did not want to be here. It's a very tricky situation. Like, just make it be known how you feel about it. Maybe it's him trying to be respectful and not wanting to publicly ask out. But then again, he has no problem publicly throwing anything else out in the media that shouldn't be there to cause drama. So it's like you think you know what kind of person he is, but then he doesn't do some things you expect, and then he does things that you don't expect. AJ Brown's all over the place. And we still don't know what he wants to do.
AJ Brown has got to be the most frustrating player to cover for an NFL team because now I'm at the point with this where I just want it done, just so it's done and over with because I'm tired of talking about this.
Yeah. To know what to look forward to for the future. Do we need to have the talks of a replacement for AJ Brown, or is AJ Brown going to remain a part of this team?
Anthony, shoot. This is all NFL offseason talk. Shoot. But see, the other big issue with this, first off, there are still the reports out there that AJ Brown asked to be traded after week 3. 3-0, and he's asked to be traded. Okay, now if that's the case, I'm done with you, babe. I've defended you everywhere I could. I'm done with you. See, here's the problem with me. I've been out since the Instagram post after the Super Bowl. I've been out since then. And, all these people that would like to laugh at me on Facebook about Devontae Smith. First of all, I've always been a Devontae Smith guy. I've always said it, and I'm going to still say it. Tick for tack, Devontae Smith is a more talented wide receiver than A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is a more physically imposing wide receiver. Devontae Smith is a better route runner. He's got better footwork. He's got better burst. It's just common sense, guys.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree.
Gee, Anthony, that number 2 team, what a shock.
Yeah. I mean, they're all teams that could use him.
Buffalo, absolutely. New England, yes. I think AJ fits perfectly in New England with that group of pass catchers.
Yeah. I don't think Baltimore. I don't think he fits there, I'll be honest. I think Baltimore is better with receivers who are good, short to intermediate, and can make plays after the catch. Examples, Zay Flowers.
That is true. The Denver one's interesting.
That is interesting.
Number 5 is hilarious.
But it's accurate.
The only big issue that still looms in this situation is the dead cap hits that the Eagles take by doing this. But again, people continue to say this, that, oh, you can't trade AJ, you can't do this, you can't do that. Do you hear how much they're talking up Devontae Smith over the past few days? I think Howie Roseman and them are actually entertaining this idea.
Which rightfully so. I mean, are people forgetting Devontae Smith was a Heisman winner? And not very common for a wide receiver to do in college. He's extremely talented. I said it last year, toward the end of the season when we had this early discussion about A.J. Brown. I said I have no problem, no doubt, that Devontae Smith can lead this team as the number 1 wide receiver.
The only difference is the guy that's here won't take that back seat.
Oh, I know he will. That's why he has to be gone for that to happen. I feel like A.J. Brown has held back the advancement of Devontae Smith's talent at the NFL level. Because you have to get A.J. Brown his targets. You have to keep him involved. But what do we see? For the few weeks that AJ was getting like 8 targets, 6 targets, 3 targets, Devontae Smith was going off. Even Dallas Goedert, he was going off.
And I will still stand on the hill that Jalen Hurts looked better as a passer when he had a fluid passing attack and doesn't have to force the football to AJ.
Exactly. When he wasn't forced to be tunnel visioned, when he was able to see the whole field and just pick the open man, not it has to go to AJ. And it was obvious at multiple points throughout the season that was the case.
Once again, how did not more people get upset with the guy that said,
all right, we're not going to compare Devontae Smith to Zay Flowers. Anthony, you lost me.
all right, well, Anthony, no, here, Anthony, name me somebody who is a number one alone. Because all the number ones, they got somebody on the opposite side of them, too.
Yeah, they do. Chase Higgins, Jefferson, Addison.
A.J. Brown? Oh, funny. Who's opposite of him? Devontae Smith was top 10 in receiving yards last year before AJ started crying and throwing a fit.
Yep.
But once again, and I understand so many people, I know the AJ Brown fan club out there that if you say one bad thing about him, you start the whole.
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Come on, Anthony.
You would have had a better compelling argument. You would have brought up Jamar Chase or freaking Justin Jefferson. But will never understand how more people were not out on this situation when the top objective in your sport is to win the Vince Lombardi Trophy. And literally, guys, this was not a month. This was not in training camp. This was not before the season. This was a week. 7 days after reaching the highest peak in his profession, came out and said winning a Vince Lombardi Trophy did nothing for him. Oh, how do you know he said that? It was on his freaking Instagram. Winning a Vince Lombardi Trophy did nothing for him. I am more concerned on winning my matchup and dominating my opposing defensive back week in and week out, which means I want to have a freaking 100-yard game every week, and I don't care about anything else. How bad are the 49ers that Zold has to bring up their running back and their tight end? Jesus freaking
He was like their leading receiver. I mean, he's not wrong. The only team I could say is this past year with Smith and Juba.
Yeah.
That's it. Because even you look at the Rams, Puka last year had Cooper Kupp. Puka this past season, Devontae Adams.
Speaking of wide receivers, another name that's going to be floated around, definitely in the trade market, is going to be Brandon Ayuk. Because we know San Fran, that relationship is more fractured than a fractured leg.
I didn't know there was anything even left.
What are some potential options there?
Oh, man. See, that's a little more difficult because Ayuk's a whole headache that a team is willing to bring on.
Yeah, we gave you JSN. 100% we'll give you JSN.
Oh, the Texans released Jimmy Ward.
How do you say that and not hit the buzzer?
I didn't know if it was noteworthy enough. It wasn't buzzer worthy.
It was the Texans.
Exactly.
They will save $750,000 in cap space.
Woohoo!
Okay.
Hey, they'll almost have enough to bring in Matt Pryor.
What? What are we talking about right now?
Well, they clearly don't want good offensive linemen because they just trade them all away.
All right, can somebody bring up an option for Brandon Ayuk before I
Brandon
completely
Ayuk. Let's see. Browns.
not
Um,
that contract?
let's see. We're talking about teams with money. Tennessee.
Oh God, no! I hope not.
I mean, Tennessee's got to try to make something happen.
Hold on, Anthony. If there's a water boy making $750,000 in the NFL, where do I sign up? Would you like water, Mister AJ Brown? Smacks the bottle out of my hand.
The Raiders.
Yes, I could see it because again we're talking about wide receivers, but God,
Oh
that
my
was
gosh, that's how they're gonna get Crosby on the Niners.
oh, good Lord.
Who else? I mean, it's
Zolt and
tough.
I would be hosting DA After Dark for a month straight because George's
Jeez.
freaking blood pressure would just skyrocket higher than a Niners injury report.
Brandon Ayuk.
Pittsburgh, the pair with
I gotta
Metcalf.
pull up. I gotta pull up his stats. I forget what he even done in the league so
Well,
far.
he's hurt. Well, he missed last year because of
Um,
the injury.
yeah,
Zolt,
this all year.
Zolt literally just put this comment as I said it. The Steelers make too much sense.
Yeah, Steelers like taking risks. They really do. You're basically any team is trading off of the prospect of the 2023 season that got him the contract. Because he only played 7 games in 2024, missed all of 2025. I don't know what happened with that. Like, did he have regressions and recovery?
I think he was just expected to miss the whole year outright.
Okay. But 27-year-old. I don't view him as a number one. So if you're not viewing him as a number one, which Pittsburgh shouldn't, it could make sense. Because, you would have him next to DK Metcalf. It could make sense.
How about a team like Washington?
Yeah. I mean, what do you really have outside of McLaurin?
Because, well, hey, bold prediction. I understand that, Jaden got hurt and a lot of things went wrong, but oh my God, Deebo Samuel failed in Washington. Who could have saw that coming?
It's almost like you called it.
It's because Deebo stinks. And George still thinks he's a wide receiver.
Jesus. I could see Washington.
Let me just give George this little piece of advice. Now, Zolt just brought up this, right? They could sign Deebo back next week, and the two best wide receivers on the team would still be George Kittle and CMC.
Yeah.
But I think a healthy Ayuk, scary Terry, healthy and a healthy Jaden. Oh,
I got a good team for you.
Oh crap!
Get ready, Carolina.
Oh,
they really haven't had a wide receiver solidify themselves. I know who was it? Was it Coker? that kind of stepped up a little bit toward the end of the year.
That's why I think him and Tet together are a good little duo. I don't know if I necessarily want to ruin that with a guy like this.
I'd say still unproven. I mean, Coker, he's going into I think his third season, so
Third or fourth.
still young. But yeah, he was he was a very solid, you know, wingman to Ted McMillan. But still, I mean, hey, that could be an even better duo. Got Ted McMillan, then Ayuk, and you still have Coker. I mean, you don't gotta get rid of him. That's just a lot of outside guys though. So yeah, I don't know.
How about Buffalo?
Buffalo needs anything they can get.
That's why I said it.
Yeah, anytime you talk about a wide receiver, Buffalo should always come up. They should be the first name on the list for every single wide receiver. Because they're still holding out hope for Keon Coleman, but I don't know how much hope is left.
I don't even know if Keon Coleman has enough hope for Keon Coleman.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, from the way that the coaches and stuff have been talking about him, they're trying to seems like build his confidence back up to hopefully get him past those maturity issues. But yeah, I mean, for a team that does not have a number one wide receiver, that would probably work wonders for him. Instead of having curved. If this receiving room was like 5 years ago, it might be pretty decent. Curtis Samuel, Mecole Hardman, Brandon Cooks.
Oh God!
You go back a few years, that you might have something. Gabe Davis too. Can't forget about Gabe Davis.
Caught the infamous touchdown with 13 seconds left.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Ayuk's just a. There's a lot more than just the wide receiver that you're getting.
Yeah, Anthony, that trade, that was a that is a look. Will go down as a god awful trade.
You know, Lattimore's going to look real good next to Quinyon Mitchell next year on a vet minimum deal.
You see, I wanted to see you just annoyed me because I was hoping to scare life into you tonight with that, and you just did it.
How the turntables.
It's not the same, but okay.
You don't get the reference.
Oh, I know how the turns table, okay? But see, here's the thing. That makes sense because that's a guy that wouldn't go against the compensatory pick formula that Howie Roseman loves.
Ooh.
So I hate the fact that you're bringing this up. But I think he wants to go younger at that number 2 corner position. I think they want someone that could kind of grow in with Quinyon and Cooper DeJean. So
Well, that means they better be ready to draft early.
you don't necessarily have to draft early for that. You could draft that in the second round. May I remind you about some corners that were literally late round picks that turned into all pros?
Remind me.
Richard Sherman.
Okay. Richard Sherman is a genius playing cornerback. That's why he was so good.
Corner. Do you look? This isn't drafting with Sean Desai, all right? Yeah, Vic Fangio and this coaching staff. We're good.
That's fair. But it is drafting without Christian Parker.
Yeah, but I think the defensive backs coaches that they've brought in, we'll be fine. We're chilling.
Let me see. I'm still waiting for let's see, what's his name? Oh, did he get wait. No, what is it? Is it Mac McWilliams?
God, yeah. What
is he
about
supposed to be their hidden gem? Whatever happened to that guy we took a few years ago in like the third round? Was it like McPherson or something? I don't know what his name was. It was Mick something.
What? What is this conversation right now?
I'm just trying to, you know, take a look at who the Eagles have drafted in later rounds at corner
Oh dear God!
successfully. The answer is there's not many because Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are the best corners that they've drafted in as far as I can remember. So I'll stand by what I said. They better draft one early if they want to have them matched up outside next to Quinyon. If not, hitting the market.
They hit the market. I already got my ideal target. Lattimore would be along the lines of like the Adoree Jackson move from last year, which I don't hate it. But if I'm looking at something more long term, I got my eyes on Reek Woolen.
Oh yeah, I remember you bringing that up on Birds.
Reek Woolen is the name that I'm really looking into. All right, so since Anthony's bringing up the other trade that went down today, let's get into these trades that happened. Now, Anthony, you asked a question earlier about why would Houston trade Titus Howard to the Browns. Well, first off, and Tyler, you seem like you had some comments on it. So, yes, Houston did trade Titus Howard this morning. And the reason they did, Titus Howard was owed a new deal. Houston is trying to rebuild their offensive line through the draft. But if you go and look at what happened with that move today, Titus Howard not only got traded to Cleveland, he was given a new 3-year deal worth $63 million.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a Houston team that is going to be prepping for a contract extension soon for somebody by the name of Will Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they traded Titus Howard. And Cleveland needed an offensive lineman because Cleveland doesn't have any offensive linemen. Their entire starting line last year is free agents. And I mean, Howard proved some versatility last year in Houston. He played some guard. He could play tackle. So it gives Cleveland at least a starting point with their offensive line. So that's why Titus Howard got traded. It wasn't because Houston wanted to just get rid of another offensive lineman, even though that's their specialty, but they needed to. Howard was up for a new deal. They weren't going to give him one. They have to start looking at the future with Will Anderson and guys like that for contracts, and that's why they got rid of him. Because, I mean, look, Cleveland gave him a new deal.
Yeah. I still feel like you got to try to keep some pieces, though, of your O line. Because if not, you're just going to end up in a cycle where, coming up on a contract, trade you away, draft another one.
Yeah, I'll disagree. But it's just, again, look at the markets that these defensive players are resetting.
Yeah. I get it. Because, I mean, defense side of the ball has become a lot more important now. It's not just the flashy, high-powered offenses anymore.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the other trade that went down today, Sonic and Knuckles are no more, Tyler.
They are not. So sad. I can't say that I'm shocked, though. I knew this day was going to come. I mean, the first year they brought in David Montgomery, they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs at 13. They viewed Gibbs as like that next big name Lions franchise running back. And so far, he's lived up to that. And you've seen year after year them start to prioritize Gibbs more and his skill set as a dual threat running back. And Montgomery was getting, less carries. It went from him being the feature back in 2023. He had 219 carries, 1,015 yards, 13 rushing touchdowns. Next year, 185 carries, 775 rushing, 12 touchdowns. And then this past year, which he played the most games, all 17. The other two previous years in Detroit, he only played 14 games. He had 158 carries, 716 yards, 8 touchdowns. So the decline in production and usage within their offense has gone down every year because Jahmyr Gibbs is their main guy, and they want to make sure that he constantly has the ball in his hand.
And I don't hate that, but the problem here is Gibbs has been so explosive and such a dynamic runner because of how fresh he stayed in during games.
Yeah, I agree. And that's going to be, I don't think this is the end for the Lions because I
No.
don't think they're just going to go whatever's on the depth chart behind Gibbs. It is what it is. I think they will try to set out to find an impactful player behind him to keep him fresh because they know that that's when he performs the best.
I already have a perfect replacement.
Tank Bigsby, trade him
Katron
away.
Allen.
Oh, oh no, no. Let them draft Nick Singleton.
I'm getting real sick and tired of you slandering Nick Singleton. You need to
I'm
knock this
sorry, you
off.
know I just like Katron Allen better. You know this.
I do too, but Nick Singleton's a good player still.
Yeah, good player for. You know what? You're right. It'll work out. He'll get drafted by the Lions because he's going to go in like the 5th round, and that'll be the perfect place for them to take a running back like that to play behind Gibbs. Honestly, I think Singleton probably could be a nice complimentary back for Gibbs.
Yeah, so I think that if you go to Penn State and look at a certain running back, I think that's your replacement. Zolt also brought up that the new OC had with their guys. Yeah, they will be cheap. They will be cheap. You're not wrong, Zolt. You're definitely not wrong.
Yep.
I like the move for Houston. I mean, they've been pretty successful over the past 2 years. You know, they got Joe Mixon. He was productive. They brought in Nick Chubb last year. I mean, he wasn't as productive as Mixon, but he was still productive.
Yeah.
Now they bring in Montgomery, who's still going to be productive. And I mean, the haul they got back. Hold on, I gotta go find it because I mean, I got Twitter bookmarks all over the place. The Twitter bookmarks are all over the place. I mean, dude, Detroit got a 4th-rounder offensive lineman, Juice Scruggs, who I mean, he's appeared in 37 career games, 20 starts. Not the greatest player in the world, but some depth for
Yeah.
an offensive line in Detroit that could use some depth. And a 7th-round pick that I believe that's in 2027, if I'm not mistaken. I think they said that's a heck of a haul for David Montgomery.
Yeah, definitely is.
That's a lot to give up if you're Houston. So, but yeah, I like the deal. I don't love it early on for Detroit. And I know what Zolt's saying is, they'll find someone to come in, but that tandem was just so good and so lethal for these past 3 years. It
Oh
just
yeah.
was a perfect fit. And it's going to be weird not seeing it next year. And like I said, look, Jahmyr Gibbs, that fantasy stock is up now. And he's going to have a great year next year if he's healthy. But the one thing about it is that I don't like is the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs has had that luxury of having David Montgomery there to spend him when he has needed it. And it's been able to keep him fresh and to keep him explosive late in games. And now they're not going to have that. So it's going to be something very interesting to monitor next
Yeah.
year.
What if the Eagles? Well, the Eagles aren't bringing back AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon's someone that the Lions could take a look at.
Why do you have to have a section of the show to be a wise ass? Now, because of you, we're going to re-sign AJ Dillon next week to like a 2-year deal.
No, we're not, Sam. He was already off the team after like week 2.
Yeah, so, and I mean, look, Juice Scruggs was by year 2 in Houston, he was a full-time starter. Now, after that, it got ugly, but again, it's a guy that at the least, it's low-end depth that has 37 career games under his belt, including 20 starts. So it's a guy that has experience that you could put as depth behind guys like Ratledge and the other interior guys because he can play all over. He can play guard, center. He's versatile. He's a former Penn Stater. I know pretty well of him. But no, yeah, I can't believe that trade happened that fast. And I mean, the reports were that Montgomery had been asking out for a little bit now. Apparently, he wanted out.
Oh, wow.
But again,
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. When you go from you signed your deal to be the main guy, oh, look, they drafted your replacement the same year. It's almost like a Kirk Cousins Atlanta situation.
Why must you always bring up the Kirk Cousins in Atlanta situation?
Because Kirk Cousins will be discussed once or twice throughout the show.
Well, while we're on that topic, do we want to get into probably like what will be our final little topic of the night?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so guys, we know the one thing. The big topics every offseason, quarterbacks. There's always some that are available. There are always some that are made available. So entering this offseason, here is a list of the quarterbacks that are most likely going to either be available or already are available. You got Tua, who looks like he's going to be a post-June 1st cut.
Yep.
Geno Smith, who his time with the Raiders is short-lived but over. Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, Malik Willis is a free agent. Daniel Jones is a free agent. Aaron Rodgers, which I kind of think we kind of understand where that's heading.
Yeah.
And Anthony Richardson, who has been given permission to seek a trade.
Yeah.
But the other 32 teams said no, thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can kind of. There's only a few that are notable to discuss. I think we both can say the Colts are going to prioritize bringing back Daniel Jones. I think that's going to be done. Hence why they're allowing Richardson to go seek a trade, because they know they do not want him back as the main guy. Smart choice. I mean, the biggest ones are Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray. Both look like they're definitely going to be released. Teams aren't able to find any trade partners. No one's interested in giving away draft capital for them because they ultimately know they will be released. So what's the point in trading for them if you know they're going to be released?
I think Tyler has like a $55 million dead cap hit or something.
Ooh. That's a yikes. Wonder what Kirk Cousins is, because I mean he had a big contract too.
Oh,
sure, it can't be small.
Let me see. Kirk Cousins.
I like Zolt's idea here. I have seen a little bit of those rumors going around. Daniel Jones getting tagged. So that way you don't have to give a multi-year contract to a player coming off of a major injury. So I could definitely see that.
$22.5 million it looks like for Cousins.
Okay. Not as bad then. But man, the wily veteran Kirk Cousins. Where could he end up? I mean, we've discussed before about going back to Minnesota, and then I see a report about Geno Smith being rumored and linked to Minnesota.
Minnesota will
Minnesota.
be linked to every quarterback this offseason because they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah. Imagine how bad JJ McCarthy must be for them to want to consider Geno Smith after the huge downfall that he had since leaving Seattle.
I have no
That's
words
bad.
for that.
That's bad. But I mean, it would be the most obvious fit. Played there for years. It was kind of shocking that he left, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, what other teams might be interested? The Browns? Are they set on Shador? Are they going to go with him into year 2 as a starter? Like, what are the Browns' plans? Oh my god! Well, that's the Browns'
He's still there
plans.
on the roster.
Oh my god! You know what? I'm convinced the Browns cannot move forward until Deshaun Watson is off of that team.
You think? Oh my God. Zolt's trying to start a problem on
Well,
DA.
hold on. What's the problem with that? That's still an upgrade. Don't look at me like that. That is an upgrade over anything that they've had outside of Baker Mayfield.
Hey, you're not wrong.
Let's see. Who else? The East is set. Could the Dolphins take a look at Kirk? Or Kyler?
I think the Dolphins are in teardown mode. I mean, they released Tyreek, they released Bradley Chubb. They're going to get rid of Tua. They're probably going to shop. They're shopping probably Jalen Waddle. I think they're in teardown mode. Go into the year with Quinn Ewers and see what you can do, and just
Who wasn't terrible in his brief time starting for them. How about for Kyler Murray, the New York Jets?
oh my God, you guys are some sick individuals tonight.
I'm just being realistic here. I mean, at this point, they need another quarterback. You can't salvage Justin Fields. I don't know who can fix Justin Fields. Who, honestly, New York Jets was not the team to fix Justin Fields. I still think he could do something in the league. I don't know how good he could be. Maybe backup at best. But in his limited time playing, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, he wasn't turning the ball over like crazy. Their offense just couldn't move the ball.
No.
So is that really his fault? It's the Jets. It's hard to put a finger on. Definitely, he could use a change of scenery. Maybe go to a team with some proven coaches, sit on the bench for a year, try and develop a little bit. He's 26. He don't got much time. He's got to try to figure some things out here soon.
I have no idea what.
I think I did see Kyler Murray's name linked to the Jets.
Oh, God. Oh God, what are we doing here?
No, they wouldn't take the risk on that. The only reason Aaron Rodgers doesn't return to Pittsburgh is if he retires.
Yeah, I don't see Rodgers going anywhere else.
The writing's on the wall. I think he's going to play one more year. He's going to go back. He's going to get to play under McCarthy again. And he had a good year last year with them. He did. Some things fell apart. They gotta figure the rest of the roster out. Mainly, who else is there if DK Metcalf gets hurt? Nobody.
No, Brandon Ayuk will be there.
Oh yeah, let's see how that goes with Brandon Ayuk's lackadaisical effort and how long Aaron Rodgers takes to snap on him.
Over under 3 days.
As long as they bring in Valdez Scantling, Aaron Rodgers, he'll be back in a minute. He won't complain. He maybe Alan Lazard too, maybe. Now that's more like a midseason acquisition. You can't give him to him right away. You got to make him beg. Oh my gosh. It's just Rodgers' lifelong best friends, man. They always follow him around the league.
All right, so Rodgers we have staying in Pittsburgh. Do you have Jones staying with the Colts?
Jones staying with the Colts.
Long-term deal, or is he tagged?
Tagged. I think Zolt made a good point. They're not going to give him a multi-year deal coming off that injury. You tag him for a year, see how he recovers and plays after that, and then if he has a good year, stays healthy, then you give him the deal.
Franchise tag for Daniel Jones would be $43.9 million. Transition tag is $37.8.
What's the difference between those two? I have no idea.
Either way. And just for the S&Gs, for Alec Pierce, who I think we're assuming the Colts will lock up to a long-term deal this offseason.
I think so.
Franchise tag is $27.3 million. Transition tag is $23.8 million.
Yeah. I hope they get a long-term deal for him because he's a huge part of their offense, but I've heard that they might tag him. So I don't know how he's going to respond to that, if he's going to be happy being tagged for a year.
Anthony, that was intentional because that's what you do when you're tanking. You try every way to when you can't bend the injury report rule anymore, you just come out, play for 5 minutes, you get thrown out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're both in the assumption Jones will stay with the Colts, Rodgers with the Steelers. Anthony Richardson, where will he get? Well, I think someone will trade.
Where will he land? You think someone will trade for him?
Yes.
Or we trade in a 6th rounder?
Don't laugh, Philly could be an option. Because it sounds like there's a lot of interest in Tanner McKee. The Jets are showing interest already, so
really
gonna need a backup.
Man. We don't have Sam Howell under contract still.
Free agent.
Damn. Richardson will be traded at some point. We'll leave it at that. I don't know what team he's a backup. I don't know what team he really benefits.
There you go, Tyler.
Oh, okay. Those other teams to negotiate. Okay. Current team can match. Gotcha. So probably best if they franchise tag Jones and maybe transition tag Pierce if they can't get to a long-term deal.
I don't even think Pierce hits the open market.
If they're smart, he doesn't.
I don't think he will. I think they're going to re-sign Pierce, and it looks like they're going to try to move Michael Pittman this offseason.
Ooh.
I mean, look, you still got Taylor, Downs, Tyler Warren. They'll be just fine.
Can't keep everybody. You got to get rid of some of the weak links. I mean, Pittman, he's been good for him, but they have better. I think Pierce is the clear number 1 on that team.
Without a doubt. All right, Malik Willis.
Malik Willis. Now, here's a guy that I can see going to the Browns. Only to battle for the starting spot.
I have Willis going to Miami. He just spent the last couple years in Green Bay. They just hired Jeff Hafley as their head coach. They just brought in one of Green Bay's executives for their general manager spot. You put him in there, have him compete with Quinn Ewers. I think that is a realistic option.
Okay. I like the connection there.
Yeah, honestly, so I'm not. Detroit's not a bad option there either.
Willis to the Ravens. I feel like
Anthony
you got to
Willis.
trade him somewhere where he has a chance to compete.
Willis doesn't need to be traded.
Well, I mean, sign somewhere
Oh,
where he has a
yeah.
chance to compete.
He's going to go to Miami. I'm telling you, that's the worst kept secret in all sports right now. All right, next up, and by the way, guys, we know we've talked about basically all these names. We're just giving predictions now. Kirk Cousins.
Kirk. And screw it, Vikings.
I'm gonna say Jets. And the only reason I'm saying Jets is because my next one is Kyler Murray, and that's where I have Minnesota.
Oh,
They
see,
have
we're
to take
flip
a
flop
big.
then
They
because
need
I'm
to take a
going
swing.
with Jets going after Murray. But
Okay.
honorable mention, the Saints.
They like Tyler Shuck,
Kyler
man.
Murray. They do. They do. But I mean, hey, if you got a chance to get Kyler Murray, some teams might grasp at it. A lot of teams are going to grasp at it. Those are going to be Kirk to the Colts. Don't do that to Daniel Jones. Don't do Daniel Jones like that, man.
Why?
Please don't do him like that. No, because honestly, you saw how good Jonathan Taylor was with a semi-mobile quarterback. You're not putting Kirk Cousins in that offense. You can't put a statue back there in the pocket. Not going to work.
All right. Next up, Geno Smith.
Doesn't get signed up until end of the offseason.
I got two options.
Are they both backup options? Because I don't see a team signing him as a starter.
Falcons.
Okay, to back up.
That's not a backup. That's insurance.
Well, that's what I meant, because in case if he shits the bed, then you put in Geno Smith, who probably will do the same thing.
So I don't think they need a quarterback. They have Jacoby Brissett, who would play, had a good year last year for them. Oh, Anthony, you are wrong.
You know what? I think he's at that point of his career.
Sweet Moses.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
There's also reports of Arizona being interested in Jimmy G because of the connections to Mike LaFleur, and I absolutely hate that. I think they're fine. Just go with Brissett for a year. He showed some stuff last year.
Yeah.
Just roll with it for a year. See what happens. But no, I could see Geno ending up in Atlanta as the backup to Penix, or another team I could see him ending up with, Kansas City.
Okay.
Barring on what's going on with Mahomes.
Yeah, because we don't know if he's going to be ready for week 1. And Kansas City, they do like to have those backup that are names that you still know at some point. Gardner Minshew, Carson Wentz. Geno Smith would kind of fit that bill, would he not?
Well, he fits the bill all right. And then the last one, Tua.
Tua, man, that's tough. Because 0 teams were interested in him. Nobody wanted to field any trade offers for him.
Well, yeah, because no one's going to take on that ridiculous contract.
Ridiculous contract, and the risk of, is he going to play the whole season? I mean, he finally almost played the whole year. And then he missed, what was it, the end of the season?
I think so.
He almost made it. He played 14 games. But yeah, what do you get with him? Honestly, Tua is a guy who has to hit the reset switch. He needs a fresh start. He's not going to
Oh,
get a
yes.
big contract. He's going to have to go somewhere, sit behind somebody. You know where I wouldn't mind seeing him go?
Don't do it.
To sit on the bench, sit second string for a year. The Rams. Did I steal yours?
How?
I stole it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's something that would benefit him. Let him go sit behind Stafford in that McVay system for a year. And who knows? Maybe
Yeah,
if there's anyone that could save Tua Tagovailoa, it's Sean McVay.
yeah. And who knows? Stafford might only have 1 year left in him. He may call it quits after this next season. So if that's the case, you already have two on the team.
Yeah. Zolt said he goes to Denver to back up Bo Nix.
Hmm. I mean, yeah. He could learn something under a coach like Sean Payton. But realistic, Tua's got to make an important career decision here, not a business decision. Don't go chasing the money. Don't go to a crappy starting spot, which there aren't many of.
Hold
I
on.
don't think any team would bring him in as a starter.
Hold on. Zolt, Anthony, this is you guys watch the Mike McDaniel playoff games and you think Tua's going to go to Denver and New England where it's freezing cold in January?
Oh yeah, that just sells Los Angeles even more. He's hundred
Exactly.
percent. He's 100% going there, no doubt. Get to play behind Stafford, learn from McVay. You get to be nice and warm.
And you're indoors.
Yeah, indoors for about half your season. Yeah, I think we'll take that.
No,
And
you know what's
playing
going to happen?
majority of the West Coast teams, so
No, see, here's what's going to happen. Next year, he's going to sign with the Rams. Next year, the Rams are going to be the 1 seed, and they're going to have home field throughout the entire postseason. Then he's going to take over when Stafford retires. They're going to be on the road in the playoffs, and they're going to be in like Green Bay or Chicago, where it's like -30 outside with the wind chill.
oh my,
Two was like, forget this. Let me back to Florida.
oh my.
I know. I really like that option for Tua. That's a good landing spot for him. Is to land in a situation like that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being his turning point in his career. And even if Stafford doesn't retire, you just sign the 1 year deal there and then go to another team.
I'm done with you guys tonight. I swear to God, I'm done
What?
with you guys.
Oh my gosh. What are these comments?
Tyler, is there anything else that you wanted to bring up for this off-season show? Because this is off and running.
I think touched on about everything that I had.
Trying to think if there's anything we could predict for next week when we come on the air.
Hmm.
Who have spent the most money by the time we start the show next Monday?
Tennessee Titans.
Well, don't
Honestly,
get.
they have the most and they're going to spend because they got a lot of work to do to fill out that offense because their wide receiver room sucks. I could see them being a top target for Mike Evans if Mike Evans wants to go play there.
I think Mike Evans is destined for New England.
Oh, he might be because, like I said, Diggs doesn't look like he's going to return. That's a good guy to bring in.
And again, the AJ Brown trade is still an option, but again, the Eagles are not going to eat that dead cat money. They can't afford to. So that's still something we have to monitor throughout the rest of the offseason.
Yeah. I think if AJ does get moved, I think it's after the post June 1st.
Yeah, something like right around there.
Yeah.
I could say it. We'll know what their plans for AJ Brown are by the draft. Because if they sign or draft her, because so many things continue to tie the Eagles to Romeo Doubs.
I'm cool with Romeo Doubs as the sidekick to Devontae Smith.
I'm okay with Captain Guardian Cap.
And bring it over here. We need a Guardian Cap player. We don't got any.
Anthony said Raiders will have the most money next year too because nobody would go there. I'm going to make one bold prediction. So you said the Titans will have the most money spent. I'm going to go with a bold prediction, and I'm going to say I don't think Tua and McDaniel should be anywhere near each other.
Yeah, I don't think he played very well at all under him. Was McDaniel there in 2023? Tua's one good season.
Yeah.
He's holding out a lot of hope if he expects McDaniel to revive his career.
Gee, I wonder who he's referring to.
Oh no.
And man, what was my one bold prediction I was gonna say? Oh yeah, Tyler Linderbaum will be a New York Giant.
Hey,
I
makes
don't think
sense.
he goes. I think he follows Harbaugh. It's too easy.
But if the money comes calling, I could see Tennessee.
Yeah, well, they did release Lloyd Cushenberry last week, so they freed up more money. And
I think Anthony's 100% spot on. When is Anthony's predictions wrong?
oh my God, Anthony's gonna go
They'll still
crazy.
trade for one and draft one, and then everyone will be like, what is the point of Deshaun Watson? And poor Sanders and Dylan Gabriel.
Gabriel's going to get released. Sanders is going to be QB4. They're going to sign Malik Willis, and they're going to draft Drew Aller.
And then Deshaun Watson will be their number one QB heading into the training camp. And then something will happen.
You're damn right he will be.
And then something will happen, and he won't play the whole season.
Oh, good Lord. So, Deshaun, how was your offseason? It was nice, man. I got some more muscle exercises this offseason. Oh, great. What did you do? Oh, good Jesus, Lord.
That's what we're calling them now, muscle exercises.
Anything else is get us canceled. So, yeah, that's what we're going to call them. Okay. And I don't want to give too much up for Friday night, so I'm not going to talk any more Eagles predictions because that'll be for Friday night. But, all right, guys. Going to call it a night there. Awesome NFL offseason preview show. Like we said, next week. Oh, what's this?
30 a year, fully guaranteed.
G-May.
I'm assuming for Cleveland.
I still think it's going to be Miami.
Miami? Man.
Miami just seems like the
risk to take, fully guaranteed. That's a big risk.
Yeah, but he did look good last year in his limited playing time.
I'd do a 1-year deal. If we're talking 1 year, 30, fully guaranteed, see how it goes. It was too limited that we saw him last year.
Tyler, if Sam Darnold got $100 million off of one good year, Malik Willis will get at least something around $60 million. It's going to happen.
Well, good thing I got my quarterback. I don't got to worry about it.
No, that's why OCs didn't want to come here. They said apparently too inconsistent. Sure. Consistently winning.
They didn't like the pressure of I either do good and get a head coaching job or I shit the bed and I get fired. basically how it is. I think the Eagles OC job is one of the most cutthroat jobs in the league.
It is because
You're
the
either
expectation is that high.
you're either good enough to make it all the way and get a head coaching job after, or you're that bad and you're fired after 1 year.
Pretty much. But all right, guys, we're going to call it a night there. Awesome NFL preview show for the offseason. It's going to be a hectic week. So just to give you guys a little rundown of this week, we have Hitting Home, which is not going to be on its scheduled Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. It is going to be Thursday morning at 10 a.m. this week. We have a special guest this week, so please tune in. Friday, Birds of the Gridiron, we will do some more Eagles offseason talk. There's a lot to dissect this week, so we'll get into that. No, we will not be including A.J. Brown because we've already talked about it tonight. Next week, back to our normal schedule, but remember, next Monday on Unbiased will be NFL free agency frenzy. Legal tampering opens up noon Eastern time this time next week. So by the time we're on that night, all hell would have broken loose around the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They already said be prepared because it's going to be a very trade-riddled offseason, which already has been. We have Titus Howard getting traded from the Texans to the Browns. David Montgomery's been traded from the Lions to the Texans. The Jets traded Jermaine Johnson to Tennessee for Travondre Sweat, which, by the way, didn't even get a chance to really touch on that. Awesome trade for the Jets because you're getting a freaking nose tackle to shore up the whole front line of your defense now against the run, who has 2 more years left on his rookie deal for a guy that you probably were going to have to give a big contract to, and he's coming off a torn Achilles. He didn't play great last year, so yeah, look, if he gets reunited with Robert Saleh, he goes over there. If he has a big year, he gets the contract for the team with the most cap space in the league.
Yep.
But be prepared because they said this is going to be a very trade-heavy offseason, more than what we're used to seeing. There'll be the free agency moves, but there's going to be a lot of trades this offseason. So, guys, thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, everybody who flooded the comments tonight. We appreciate that. And like we said, we appreciate all of you who come and use us for your sports talk week in and week out. We greatly appreciate it. So, guys, have a safe rest of your night. Have a good week. And we will see you guys on Thursday morning for some baseball talk with Hitting Home. So stay safe, guys. We'll talk to you then. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?